This is gonna make so many people mad. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys about something that's been on my mind for actually a very long time. Obviously you've read the title. We're gonna be talking about school today. Now this topic has been approached so many different ways in the YouTube community, and I always see one of two things. You're either one, absolutely bashing the school system and burning it to the ground, or two, you're just shoving it down your throat that you need to stay in school or else all of God's wrath is gonna rain down on you. And I didn't want this video to be either of those things because frankly, this is my opinion. I'm allowed to have one, and you don't need to follow my opinion. One of the main catalysts for me making this video was a quite harrowing experience I had with a fan a couple days ago. This person came up to me. She asked me why I hadn't dropped out of school, and she told me that I should drop out of school to make videos full time. And that kind of scared me because that made me rethink the message I'm giving out to my fans. To me, I didn't think I was giving out that message, and I did not want for that to be the takeaway from my videos, especially the school-related ones. I know there are a lot of you that are mature, and you won't take what I say as gospel and burn it into your arm as your personal mantra, but there are some of you who are more impressionable, and I don't want you taking everything I say to heart. Now, don't get me wrong, school is not my favorite thing whatsoever. If you offered me $1 million to go through this whole thing again, I would slap you silly and call the police. But I think as a society, we're starting to forget the point of school and its role in preparing people to be a part of society. So hopefully this video helps out those of you who are, confused with school and are contemplating dropping out or are questioning its importance. Something I hear all too often about school is this idea that it's overrated. And I definitely believe that the media perpetrates this idea. I'll never forget the time that Wendy Williams went on live TV and told her audience that school's overrated. And then there's also the entire other side of YouTube. For example, Jake Paul and his trash song about why teachers need to go die in a hole. Why did you do that? First of all, if you can't sing, don't. And two, why? The argument that school is useless is a very morally ignorant statement in itself. Sure, you're not going to solve for X when you're buying groceries, but that's just a very bad example. I'll give you 4 better examples as to why school is actually very necessary off the top of my head. As much as I like to goof on English, it's actually really useful, and it teaches you how to communicate your ideas and opinions in a manner that's not infringing on someone else's freedom of speech, which is a skill that many people lack nowadays. Calculus is used to build the roads you drive on so that you don't go flying off a curve when you go around a corner. Biology and chemistry and health class, they all teach you how to read nutrition labels so that you're not eating actual poison. Even with my YouTube channel, I've used several skills that I've learned in school to make this. Communication and basic math skills, to name a few. So I really don't understand how people have the audacity to say that school's useless, and there's so many examples of how it actually is very useful. Now, don't get me wrong, the school system is full of issues. The education system was created at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and the main goal was to create factory workers, people who thought the same way and follow directions to a T with a dog-like obedience. And I think most people can see where that is embodied in the education system, from this pressure to memorize everything in your textbook and eat it up when you get home, to the respect to authority that you're expected to have, and even the limited creativity that there is. I think that's all a consequence of what they were originally trying to go for. Now, obviously times have changed. 2019 is eons away from the life that humans led in the 1800s, but we cannot simply dismiss the fact that school does prepare you to lead a productive life and to be a part of society. Now, I know that a lot of you are going to say, I hate society and I'm never going to be a part of it. But let's be honest here. Are you really going to go off and live as a hermit and not vaccinate your kids? Yeah, I didn't think so. It's human nature to be a part of a group, and school prepares you to be a functioning member of society. And I don't think we can deny that fact. And going back really quickly to the whole school is useless argument, yeah, there are a lot of things in school that you're taught that you're probably not ever going to use in your daily life. But then I think it's up to you what exactly it is that you can take away from that. Because I'll admit, I never used history, even though it's very useful. This next part is definitely going to ruffle a couple dozen feathers. So I'm just going to put it out there that if you're sensitive to conversations and discussions about mental illness, now is a good time to click off. Okay, great. Let's keep going. Now, my heart goes out to anyone who has developed anxiety or any other form of mental illness because of school, but I've seen so many people use this guise of mental illness to not study for a test or not finish their homework simply because they're stressed out. It honestly frustrates me a lot. People really need to distinguish between good stress and bad stress in these situations. Simply put, not everything in life is gonna be, a walk in the park. You're gonna be stressed out so many more times in life. This is simply just a preparation for those experiences. Do I recommend that you stay up all night finishing a project or something? No, I don't. You need to set limits for yourself. But going back to the whole stress and anxiety thing, it's normal to be anxious for a test or situation. That's not anxiety. That's a defense mechanism. When you enter a stressful situation, your brain has two options, fight or flight. And that's exactly what happens when you enter a test situation, an exam, or something along those lines. Something else that doesn't help whatsoever in these situations is, I'm gonna say it, okay, self-deprecation. Now, I do use quite a bit of self-deprecating humor in my videos. I've been trying to cut back on it a lot recently, and I hope that you've realized that. Sure, it's funny the first couple times, but it loses its humor very quickly, and it's actually very insensitive to people who are legitimately depressed, suicidal, the list goes on and on. You might think, oh, it's all a joke, it's not gonna affect me, but it actually does affect you. A couple months ago, when I was still making more deprecating jokes in my videos, I found myself constantly just in a very negative mindset, and it was so unnecessary because I'm happy with my life. I don't have any reason to complain. Anyways, I hope I didn't offend the entire human population with that little bit about mental illness. I know it's a very heated topic, and the last thing I want to do is trigger or offend someone who's going through a rough patch. The final topic I wanted to discuss with all of you kind of goes hand in hand with the last one. I wanted to talk about pressure and the expectation to do well in school. Now, I was always expected to get good grades in school. That wasn't even a question. My parents both went to university. My dad's a professor, so I was pushed out the womb expecting good grades. And I know that a lot of people complain about this pressure that parents usually put on their kids, but I genuinely do thank my parents for pushing me to be the best student I can be. And I know that there's people who cannot say the same thing. Their parents expect so much from them. But we need to remember that your parents are only doing that because they care about you. I'm also gonna say one last thing. I'm gonna sound like an 85-year-old teenager when I say this, but I definitely do believe that technology has made the academic life so much harder than it has to be. I'll admit, I get distracted with my phone quite a bit, especially with this whole YouTube thing. And I have to juggle school and sports on top of that. And if you ask me how I did it, to be honest, I don't even know what I would answer. I would probably just say that I just pull all the stops out and see what happens. I think the point I'm trying to get at here is if you are planning on dropping out, if that's really something you want to do, I implore you to think about your decision wisely, because it's not something easy to go back upon. You may not regret it now, that's true, but I know that if I dropped out right now and I said, I'm gonna live with my YouTube for the rest of my life, that's not gonna work, because I know I'm not gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. And when it comes time for me to go back to school and get a degree so that I can get a job, I would not go back to school. It would be so hard. It would take a Herculean effort to go back and at least get a bachelor's degree in something. That's all I have to say. I don't know if this video makes sense, but I'll see while I'm editing it. I'm really sorry if this is not what you wanted. I've been really wanting to make this video for a while now, and I'm glad that I finally sat down and did it. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Did you really think I was capable of making a serious video without making one joke? Well, fool me once, I'm an idiot. Fool me twice, I'm still the idiot. Anyways, I was searching the interwebs for God knows what this morning when I came across something so ridiculous, so absurd that I just had to share it with all of you. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is a sandwich made with cucumbers. When I saw that, I knew that I immediately had to try it. It wasn't even a question. You're gonna need 1 English cucumber, red wine vinegar, Dijon mustard, plain yogurt, fresh dill, mayonnaise, some celery, 1 lemon, and the horrid, the grotesque, it's the lemon tuna. Begin by opening up your cucumber. Next, cut it in half lengthwise so that you get 2 half cylinders. Using a spoon, take out the seeds of the cucumber. You're going to end up with these 2 cucumber vessels, which you will place to the side for later. Now we begin the vinaigrette. In a glass bowl, mix half a teaspoon of red wine vinegar, a 1/4 teaspoon of Dijon mustard and salt each, a spicy sister sprinkling of black pepper, and finally 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Once that's mixed up and you have whatever the heck this is, it's time to get artistic. Using a tiny paintbrush, paint the vinaigrette onto the cucumbers liberally, getting every nook and cranny. With the rest of the vinaigrette, mix in 2 tablespoons of yogurt, some dill leaves, I just picked them off the stem, another 1/4 tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of mayonnaise, and finally 1 package of tuna. This was hard for me. It comes bathed in some liquid which makes my stomach turn. Squeeze some more lemon to hide the tuna stench and mix it up until you have literal baby's barf. If you're wondering what happened to the celery, it was big and it scared me, so I didn't use it. Now all that's left is to assemble the sandwiches. Placing the tuna hell in each vessel, you will assemble the sandwiches like so and you are done. My thoughts? Honestly, what did I expect? Tuna is the literal spawn of the devil, so I don't know why I thought I would like this. It was difficult to get down, but I ate it all and promised myself I would never do it again. So yeah, that's it. I love you, my dudes, and I'll see you all in the next one.